And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the late night style show, whatever, for the website, sleeplesscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there! All right, I've got some jokes for you in the monologue format. Let's get down to business. Construction began on President Donald Trump's new White House ballroom as the east wing of the historic presidential home was demolished. I would say that this is devastating, but it looks like we're still in the first act of a Gerard Butler action movie, and things can only get worse from here. Disgraced former New York House Representative George Santos had his prison sentence commuted thanks to Trump, and the surprise twist: Santos was Trump all along. Outgoing New York mayor and midlife crisis earring influencer Eric Adams endorsed disgraced former New York governor and nipple piercer Andrew Cuomo. That's like cholera endorsing whooping cough. They're basically the same disease. I wouldn't want either. I gotta move things along here. Three current and former NBA players and a coach were among 30 people arrested this week in connection to sports betting and rigged poker games. All that coming up on this podcast, brought to you by Sports Bets for Boys. Sports Bet for Boys. You probably didn't know how to treat a woman. That's why she left. A heist at Paris's famed Louvre museum left the French city stunned, leaving the government to admit the jewels were uninsured. Oh, great. Even France is lazier than someone who has the general insurance. If Shaq Diesel says it's good, it has to be, right? And finally, according to internal documents acquired by the New York Times, Amazon plans on replacing 500,000 of its workers with robots. Worse yet, the robots will still judge you based on what's in your cart. Hey, Loadbot 5000, check this out. This guy's buying a blow-up doll, Hellman's Mayo, and 6 cable ties. It's going to be a busy Tuesday night. I don't know why Sebastian Maniscalco had to show up. Anyway, that's all the jokes I have for you this week, and I forgot the media for one of them, so, everything's going well. Hey, welcome back. This is Late Night Lately. It was a week that shows came back, shows didn't come back. Jimmy Kimmel was off, but Fallon, Myers, and the rest were on. On the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he had wonderful people such as Charlie Puth and Allen Iverson. They also had, Adam Brody, Gatton Matarazzo from Stranger Things, Mark Meiser. Courtney Barnett performed. Jimmy also promoted some of that show On Brand. He also had Kristen Bell, Dave Franco, Jay Jordan did stand-up. And that was just another week for Fallon. For Seth Meyers, he had the Leave It Alone guy came back. That's Lutz. Larry David was on, as well as Joe Kim Booster, Diane von Furstenberg. Leslie Jones, Amelia de Molenberg. It was another solid week. And Jesse Plemons as well. And then for The Late Show, as we continue to march towards the end of the year, the booking has always been very good over at The Late Show. I do want to commend their efforts with that. Along with Michael J. Fox and Jeff Tweedy, who also performed, our friend Colbert had Alex Wagner, Emma Stone, and Tig Notaro, and Ben Stiller. I have to watch that Ben Stiller interview. I missed that episode, so check it out. On the Daily Show front, Michael Costa hosted for the week after Jon Stewart had his Monday show. He interviewed Senator Bernie Sanders, which I'm sure was a riveting conversation. I did not get a chance to check out the chat, even though even though on YouTube TV I record the Daily Show, And yet, for some reason, I decided not to continue on watching that interview. I just watched the monologue and I said, all right, time to move on. Michael Acosta spoke to Catherine Bracey. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Brackey. Ryan Holiday, and Jeff Tweedy. We also had Desi Lydic do an interview about, a piece about communists, asking if Zoran Mondani is a communist. And Lewis Black commented on the protein-infused craze, which is huge. I didn't know it was a big thing until I saw it on CBS News a couple of days, maybe 2 weeks ago. And then for last week tonight, John Oliver was off, but they did have a web exclusive featuring talking about Air Bud. And that's it. That's all. That's everything that's happened. That's it. That's all. That's everything that's happened. This is a period in late night where things are, I feel like it's an in-between moment, because the movies that come out that are about that are trying to be Oscar contenders, some of them are out right now, and those people are doing rounds for press, but they have to do them so early because the movies are out so early. And then we're going to have the Thanksgiving break, and then everything will be moved into full swing. So that means that then you'll have a bunch of people popping up on late night shows. Because it's October 27th. SNL is off, and at some point these shows will go off the air for 2 weeks, run for a couple of weeks, and then go off the air for basically 2 months, a month and a half. I'm excited though. We've got everybody's coming back this next week, this upcoming week, starting Monday, October 27th, but it's a liminal space. My water bottle's almost empty. All right, let's talk about this. What's happening right now? This comes from Jed Rosenweg over at Late Nighter. NBC's NBA tip-off pushes tonight's show to latest start of Fallon era. Oh, you can't see it on the thing. There you go. Last week, the NBA on NBC started up again after, how many years have they been gone? Like 20, something like that? I don't know. Something along those lines. Anyway, when tip-off happened on Tuesday, I was watching the games. I was watching the first game, and then I noticed, I went, wait a minute, there's 2 games. And then I immediately brought up the guide on YouTube TV, which is a hassle. It is a hassle to bring that guide up. My God. My goodness. Depending on how you get into YouTube TV, and this is one of my biggest complaints about the service besides price. But depending on how you get in to YouTube TV, let's say you're using a Chromecast for Google TV, or I guess they call it Google TV now. That thing, the remote is so tiny, but also it has 1, 2, 6 buttons, maybe 8 buttons, but it has 6 buttons. One of them is a home button, one of them is a back button. If you go to the live TV tab in Google TV and you click into YouTube TV via that tab, you click on a channel, whatever, you can't get back to the guide within YouTube TV because the back button will back you out of it. The home button will back you out of it. But if you go to YouTube TV and then you get in that way, then then you can press the back button to get to the guide. Sometimes it works the way you think it's going to work, where you press the back button, you get into the guide from the guide on Google TV. But oh goodness, it's tough and it's annoying. I checked the guide and I see that the late night shows, the Tonight Show and Late Night, were pushed way back. And we knew that there was going to be some fallout because the NBA has games on the West Coast. Excuse me, NBC has. Yeah, I mean, yes, there are games on the West Coast, and it's going to affect everybody. I would say, thank goodness for YouTube at this point and just like recording in general, because there's no other way that these shows would have been seen. I wonder if Johnny Carson's show was ever pushed, Tonight Show was ever pushed like this. Anyway, Jed writes, Tuesday night's NBA tip-off doubleheader on NBC wreaked havoc on network's late night lineup, pushing Tonight's Show to its latest start time since Jimmy Fallon took over the desk in 2014. Tonight's Show started at 1:05 a.m. and instead of 11:35, but when NBC's coverage of the game ran more than 20 minutes late, which is bound to happen for any sports thing. How many times have I'm an avid watcher of The Simpsons, especially live. How many times has this exact thing happened where The Simpsons, a brand new episode starts? It's supposed to start at 8 p.m. on Fox, and they have some type of football game, NASCAR event that just pushes the scheduling. So The Simpsons will come on at 8:30, 8:45, whatever comes after that. Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. You know what show I was thinking about this morning when I was on the treadmill was the this is so truly random. The Napoleon Dynamite cartoon, which was not good. Napoleon Dynamite had an animation domination show. Animation domination, for what it's worth. There have been some great shows that come in, some okay shows, and some very bad shows. There's one called Alan Gregory starring Jonah Hill that was just atrocious, doesn't even help it out. But then you have other shows. I like Grimsburg. I liked Housebroken. Anyway, let's get back to this. This was very interesting. In early September, a third quarter weather delay during the NFL kickoff game set Fallon back to 1:12 Eastern, more than an hour later than planned. I think we're going to have scheduling issues. How long is this? They've got them for 5 years. They've got NBA for 5 years. I don't know how long the schedule is, but the contract is. But this is what it's going to be. I'm very concerned that, with CBS pushing out Colbert and just ending its late night properties, what's going to happen? Well, A, to The Daily Show, and then B, to if ABC says, hey, after Kimmel's done, they go, hey, we don't want to do late night anymore. Will that happen with NBC? Where they think, even if this is just once a week or a couple of times a year, and not once a week for the entire NBA season, but let's pretend it's even a couple of times a year, and even still, they have the Winter Olympics coming up. Would they want to continue doing late night because it's interfering with their sports schedules, which is a lot more lucrative? Sports is a lot more lucrative than late night. To have Myers come on at 2:30 in the morning, and yes, people some people are up probably watching that. Some people watch just a closer look on YouTube. Some people just watch the interviews on YouTube, which I don't know why you would not even watch the monologue. Like I have to see Jimmy Kimmel talk to Wanda Sykes, but I will not watch that monologue. I don't want to see Colbert's Meanwhile. I only want to see him talk to Alex Wagner. If this continues, if this continues, what's going to happen with these late night shows? On ABC during the summer, right? Not the summer, excuse me. During the NBA finals, during the playoffs and the finals, when ABC has some room, they put Kimmel on before and after the NBA games. Is that something that the NBA would want to do? with, excuse me, not the NBA, what NBC want to do with Fallon and Myers. They've experimented with things before. We've gotten a closer look a handful of times, maybe like once or twice. And in the prime time, we've got an 8 o'clock showing of that show, of that even just segment, a special episode of that. Fallon is doing post-NFL games on Sundays sometimes, to post-NFL shows on Sundays sometimes. We'll see, because viewers are important to these companies no matter what. But they're really just kind of shooting themselves in the foot with something like this. I don't know. All right, I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people a lot. Sometimes. If you want to see a video version of this show, go to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see a video version of this show as well as the other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs Podcast, and the Constitutionals, the Entertainment Business News Podcast. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Also on youtube.com/C+comedy, you can see me talk to famous people, A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, mostly C-list. Follow us on social media, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok @C+comedy. Me @ChadBlackWhite. Thank you so much. Bye.